Hey everyone, it's me, Bixels, back with another scripting tutorial. And today I'm going to be showing you a pretty simple but extremely useful thing to use in any script. So if you read the title, you know what we're doing. And in this video I'm going to show you how to do it and what you could use it for. So, of course, I'm going to be showing you how to add mobile options to your game while also keeping all of your PC aspects of the game used. So, the first thing you want to do is know that most of the time all of this should be localized. Like everything that you're doing should be done in local scripts. Unless what you're doing does require like a server script, you want it to be activated from an event fired from a local script. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is create a screen GUI, because that's what most people are going to use this for. So we'll just keep this as screen GUI. We'll add a frame right here. Yeah, we'll just put it right in the middle. We'll rescale it. That's not something you have to do, and that's a plugin that I have. If you want that plugin, then tell me and I'll add it to the description. So here we go. We have this, rescale it a little bit. So now the first thing we want to do is right click that, go to insert object, and you want to insert a local script into this. We'll call this mobile script test. Easy. So for this, all you're gonna need to know is, well, all you're going to need is the user input service and the player service. Those are the only services you're going to be needing minimum for a GUI type thing. And to be completely honest, you don't really need the player service, but it's nice to have always. So first let's get the user input service. So local UIS equals game .getService user input service. And then next we'll get the player service. So next we'll get the player service, service players, and then we will define what the player is. CS.local player. So basically, this is just inputting the user input service into this script specifically. So it's just grabbing it from the air as if it were one of these. So we don't ever really see it, but it just loads it in for us anyways. And the player service is already loaded in usually, but if this is wants to be run as fast as possible, this script will load in the player service locally first. And then since we have this loaded in automatically, we can figure out who the player is much faster. Much faster, but I don't know. It just makes things a little bit faster for the computer for bigger, more expansive projects. Because what you could do is just local ps equals game.players. That does the same thing at the same speed, but it's a lot safer to get the service. Because if this runs and the player service isn't in the game yet, then your whole script won't run. So once we figure all of that out, we want to do if UIS.KeyboardEnabled then. So what this is doing is if the keyboard is enabled on here, so I'm using a keyboard because I'm on a laptop or a computer in general, right? So it's not checking technically for a phone or a iPad or anything like that, but it's checking if there's an actual keyboard, like for a computer, is connected. So if you're not using a keyboard, then it will not run this first if statement, which is what you want the else. So we'll just put this here and then else. So this is where the mobile support would go, and this would where the PC support would go. So anything on this line would be for anything mobile, and then this would be for anything for PC. So on the PC side, let's say that this is for like maybe a hand to script, you know, like if you're wanting to have something where you can hand like cups or drinks in a cafe game to other players, then you would want like maybe a button or something for mobile users, because most places do, like if you click H, then GUI pops up, you know. If you click the H, then the GUI pops up, you know. That's not actual script or code, but you know, you understand. So if you have a keyboard, then you're not going to need this button at all, if it's a button. So we'll create another variable, local frame equals script.parent. So frame.visible equals false, because we don't need it if we have a keyboard to just click H. But if we're on mobile, we can't click H on a keyboard because we don't have a keyboard. So we'll do frame.visible equals true. And that's all you have to do to add in user support for mobile devices and PC devices separately. It's not always needed. So let's say if you have like a script where if you want to click something and it gives you something, like if you click a cup and it puts a cup into your inventory, you won't need this. But if you're doing like a hand to script and you want to have it easier for PC people so they don't have to click a button to hand stuff over, then this is when you would want to use something like this. So if you just want to test this and you don't want to use your phone or anything to test this, Roblox has a good integration on the test tab. So first let's try this out on just a PC, right? So let's load in the game. We load it in. So here we are. We're in the game. And since we are on a PC, the frame will not be visible. So this is for PC, the visibility will be false. So since we don't see the frame, we know that it works for the PC. Now, if we want it to work for a device, Roblox has a emulator for devices. So let's try this emulator real quick. It's emulating a iPhone. So let's load it in. And now the frame is here. So, as you can see, our script 100% works. And that's all you have to do to really test a mobile device on your computer. So, this is all you need to know. And if you do want to learn a little more about the different ways you could use this, there's always the developer wiki, or just developer.roblox.com. This is where I figure all of this stuff out on my own. And you can just come here and it basically tells you what I just told you. And you can just read all of this to get a better idea of how this all works. But yeah, this is the script. You can find this script in the description or in the top pinned comment of the video. And if you have any problems with the script or anything that you want me to expand upon, then just put a comment below and I'll explain more. if you have any more programming or scripting ideas that you would want me to cover, then tell me in the comments below as well. Just anything that you would want to see in the future from my channel, shoot me a comment, and I read all of them, because, you know, I get like 8 per video. But hopefully this can help some of you newer game developers out on your cafe games or other games in general. So yeah, I hope you all understood this enough, and if you didn't, I'll explain a little more to anyone who needs help with it. But anyways, thank you guys all for watching. I hope that this helped you in any way, and I've been your host. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Hey Ross, sauce it up. Pull up in a ride, yeah, painted with some decals. I ain't never stopped, can't be trusting any females. Got a shorty blog, had her texting through the email. Walking right on top, I won't fall, that's a detail. You can call me or send a text, love. Going solo, but I wish you all the best, love.